Hi, everybody. I am Thiago Dadalt. I'm the filmmaker behind Beyond. We're going to be talking a little bit about the making of this movie that you just watched it here at Kinema. Thank you, Kinema, for having us. It's an amazing platform. In a little bit, we're going to be talking with Tamara Mark and Drew Miller. First of all, I have to thank my team at Dadalt and Dru Productions who made this movie happen. Drew Miller, the executive producer. Thank you, Drew. Without you, this movie would not happen. Bruno Nogueira and Damaris Pinheiro, who is the co-producers of the movie, and were at the house with me while we were filming. Ricardo Ariel, who did the color and the arts. He lives in Brazil. He's an amazing artist. Al Sagro did the music and the sound beautifully. I would like to thank you, Darlene Hanson. It's always amazing to see her in the movie. Holly Sharton, and she gave me access to an amazing material. Thank you, Holly. All the families in San Diego, Donnie and Duke. I had amazing people that really helped to make this movie happen. So thank you all. You all know who you are, and I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. They were amazing. Every single person.
So first question that everybody want to know how we met and how this movie came about.
Tiago and I, he was working on his documentary, Where's Nancy? And he met a friend of mine, Azita Foddery, because they were working with dementia and wanderers and trying to get autism elopers like Ian and Harry have been people who have run away, devices for the same that they were doing for the people with dementia. Azita and Tiago met, and she said, if you're going to do a story about autism, I think you should meet my friend Tamara, who has two sons and she's a single mom. And you were, I'm sure, very nice as you are. And a year later, during COVID, you somehow I popped in your mind. You didn't remember my name, but you remembered the story, and you reached out to Azita, who then reached out to me and said, would you be interested in speaking with this Brazilian amazing director, young director? He's done all these incredible things. And I want you to watch his short film, Duke, so you can see who he is. So she did that first. And and Mark and I were actually talking via text and I think video at that time, right? Messenger in Australia. And Mark was like, yes, you got to go and have a Zoom with this guy. If he wants to talk to you, definitely talk to him. So it started like that. And then you and I watched Duke and I was so blown away. I mean, if I wasn't sitting outside at a table during COVID, having lunch by myself, I would have been sobbing on the street. So it was so good. And you and I had a Zoom, and the rest is history. I mean, we just connected. I felt an instantaneous connection to you, a heart-centered connection, and just like a knowing that I knew you. It was the most beautiful thing to feel so comfortable right from the start.
It was very powerful and beautiful. And one thing to clarify with people that when I came to your house and got to know you in person and then the boys, it was a beautiful day. But that was clear that I couldn't have a big team. It was COVID going on. That's why we decided to go very minimal, to use a small camera, even because Ian didn't like the idea of having a camera around him. And also, I had to really be on the go. The idea was to be
fly on the wall.
A fly on the wall, like
the wall.
yeah. You didn't want to be invasive to the situation because it really was. They have trouble with things they know when they're being watched or filmed, or they don't even like a camera, like can I take a picture? It's like you can't.
It was really going with the flow. There was no script, nothing was ready. I never asked you to say anything that you don't want to say. It was day by day. I had no idea how this editing would come about, how the story would flow. It really happened the way that's supposed to be.
At first, when Thiago came to me with the idea about doing a short documentary on Tamara Mark and Harry and Ian, I felt it was a great idea. And once we started filming and we had so much footage and there was so much information, we made the decision to do a full feature documentary.
And then we decided and talk with you about it to spend the entire year filming as we go and have from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving. And thank God this beautiful man show up in the movie.
I know. It's an amazing thing.
Thank God, all right.
We didn't thank God for us, for me. But honestly, we didn't know that he would be in the film. I mean, it just the way it all timed out, because he didn't want to be in the film until we had actually, spent time together. But it ended up like the first time we saw each other, besides Messenger on Facebook for almost 2 years, year and a half, was him walking up, in the film. And it's such a moment for me still to look at, because I mean, we hadn't seen each other in 40 years or 43 years, 43 years physically, so it was a big day.
Definitely was.
A really beautiful day.
And one question that everybody's probably asking right now, it's because when the film ends, you guys are having a good time and the family is reunited. And Mark, we want to hear from you too. How are you guys doing? How is everything going?
Well, as I always say every day, if somebody asks me that question, I always say never better. We're engaged.
Yes. Oh. Biggest heart in the world right here. Biggest heart in the world.
So yeah, things are going great. The boys are doing really well, which is, just so important. Harry, especially from, all his teeth work being done, as you see some of it in the movie. The impact that had on him, the pain level he must have been going through is, amazing to think of. And yeah, he's doing 100% better. I mean, yeah, of course he has his challenges. He's nonverbal autistic and likes his solitude still, but as far as his general demeanor and his internal happiness, I think it's improved out of sight. It's so beautiful to see. It really is.
Yes.
So we just won an important award at CineQuest that comes from the medical field by the Kaiser Permanente. How you guys feel about that?
I'm just so blown away. I mean, literally.
I've always said this film's going to fly because your masterpiece, your artistic mastery is unbelievable, Thiago.
Yes.
I've always said this, it's such a powerful movie, and people that have the opportunity to watch it, and I hope millions do across the world, they will be moved by what you've achieved.
Oh, thank you.
I always say that, Thiago, there's no one that could have done this story except you.
Oh.
Because your level of artistry and compassion and just your intuitive knowingness about how to handle things, most people couldn't walk into our house and do what you did. There's just no way. I've had people come that, people have been afraid to come to our house, and you just came in like, we got this, we're gonna do it. And look, everybody that I know in the industry has said, you should win an Academy Award. It's that good. You are really so talented, Thiago. And
receiving this award at CineQuest is such an honor. The fact that it's coming from Kaiser Permanente, one of the largest medical institutions in the country, is such a huge and flattering compliment to not just the film, but the subject matter and all the different areas that we tried to cover in the film itself.
Some people have a hard time watching your life. Some people are really watching autism for the first time as watching this film.
For me, being an outsider, I've never been involved with autism until I walked into this house, which you captured on film.
Which everybody says is a pivotal moment for them in the movie, because he was them. He became the person who has never walked into this, apparent situation. And it was so beautiful how it flowed, like it showed people.
The film is brilliant in what it portrays. However, I always tell somebody, when they ask me, you don't really know what autism's all about until you sleep under the roof 24 hours a day in the house, day after day after day. What you portrayed is brilliant, Thiago, absolutely brilliant. But to really know autism, you have to be living under a roof with people with severe autism, and it's a blessing because they're such beautiful people with the biggest hearts.
They are. And it's the challenges are enormous. And the families, the Kaiser Permanente, when we talked with them, the Cinequest for that particular award recently, they said the isolation that when they watched the film was it really profoundly affected them. Like, wow, these families are so isolated. And, it's worldwide. I mean, this isn't just our little household. I mean, the only reason why I was willing to put my life out there was because I trusted you, A. B, I knew that you would do it in a way that the world would be able to understand it from a heart-centered position and artistry, but also that it shows that these families are seriously and financially, emotionally, physically strained, pushed to the edge of the envelope. And a lot of them, they can't go on, they really are having a tough time. And people need to know what it is to live this every day. And you gave them a snippet in a year's timing about what it's like under extraordinarily challenging circumstances. Not only did we have COVID, not as serious, but still people were still afraid of even that. So to have people in our house every day trying to work with the boys and then bringing, COVID into the house, and, it was nutty,
I would like you guys to talk about the future, what it is in the future, how people can help.
But, there is no future. And Tamara and I aren't here. There's nothing for them. It's an abyss. And it's a worldwide problem. It's not just in America.
And we've been the last year trying to, get supportive living services and SLS in the home, so that we can start building the future for them. Because with no time, I mean, I've been living day to day, just get through my day. Now that Mark is here, and he's helped so many things come into fruition. We've started a foundation since the film. We want to create future for our children and many, many others, but we want to start with, one and get it started, see how it works. But honest to God, we couldn't do it if we didn't have, like, what we're trying to do is have 24/7 care in our home, so that we will have time to really focus on their future. Because what we're doing now is, it's survival. I mean, we are just in survival mode still. I mean, it's just paperwork and trying to get people here. And we have some amazing caregivers. I have one, Eva Latona, that's been with me for 19 years. She's helping us be the house manager of our SLS. But it's incredible because she's doing my job now. She doesn't get to sleep. She has to be here on call. They don't have people call out last minute. We're supposed to have like 2-to-1 for Harry, 1-to-1 for Ian. Supposed to be all set up. We were supposed to be set up by April 15th. Here we were in August 15th almost. Mm-hmm. And we still don't have staff. We're still trying to get coverage. And we are one little household in the world. So I know there are millions of them, and they don't have services like we do in California. They're really struggling. I mean, I have people reaching out to me, as you know, because of the film. People private message me, and I can't get back to people. I'm in survival mode. I mean, it's not like I have an easy breezy life now that we did the documentary and I have a man and, we're trying to build future. We are still living in a survival mode with love. I mean, at least there's a lot of love.
How people can help.
Go to beyondranchfoundation.org, all one word. And there you'll see what we're trying to achieve. It's a webpage that's been designed by the crack team. And on there you can see what our mission statement is, what we're trying to achieve, what we want to achieve for not only Ian and Harry, but others. But we do need to start with one community. We would like to see it go worldwide, but we've got to start at one spot. So from that website, people can donate. trying to get it set up so you can donate anything, not just finances. We're thinking about using shipping containers retrofitted for the housing model, low cost, cheap. We need timber,
Carpenters.
construction material, carpenters. We're going to need an administrative team. We're going to have to, hopefully have enough financial resources that we have a full team. We're hoping to have a training arm to it so people can get trained and helping in this field of work. We want to get embedded with hospitals, universities. We have a lot to do, a lot to do.
And we're very passionate about it because it's so needed. And because of me in the movie, I said it over and over, like, if we're not here, there's nothing. Their life is not a good life. I mean, we see it under our own roof if we're not really watching. Some people just aren't committed to doing the right thing. And it's really hard to find purposeful care. And we want it to be people that want to come are going to be paid appropriately too, because people are not being paid appropriately in these fields of caregiving and supportive to these kind of families. And so they have to take what they can get. And a lot of them are just waiting for their next way to find their next step to their next future. I mean, they're not going to stay. That's why we've started here with this little house and our little SLS. But, it's taken us since the movie. We're still not there, just for this in this little section of our lives. But we have big dreams.
We do. So it's going to take a lot of resources. So we really hope this movie touches a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
And a lot of wealth. And
you certainly touched ours, Thiago.
And you touched mine.
This man changed my life. You all changed.
Yes. Well, again, it's hard to capture in camera while we really, like you say, like being there. I hope we were able to do that and people can feel it.
Did.
And
you did absolutely do that.
I really hope that Beyond can help Tamara and other families in a very similar situation to live in a better system, provide help and care as needed, fill some of the gaps that unfortunately are current in our society today.
do you guys have any final thoughts or any message that you want to give to people?
People that have watched it up at CineQuest, they actually said like they didn't even know what they were going in to watch or how they would be affected by it or whatever. And it absolutely was a life-changing experience for them. I've had even the people helping us with the foundation. She had a friend that has a kid like a 10-year-old like Ian and Harry, and she would only see her when she went to visit her and they'd go to dinner. So she never really knew, kind of like people didn't know about my life because people didn't come to the house. So she had something come up recently where she had to go back because the husband is ill. So she went back to help her friend, and we called her and she goes, "Oh my God, thank God I saw Beyond, because now I understand a little bit how to handle." She really learned. I think it's very educational.
Very good.
Yeah,
So-
my hope is that people watch and maybe bring the conversation to schools, to universities, and anywhere.
In our world now, everybody's about separation and making all these places where people, are separate. I think what's the beauty of the boys is they're so inclusive. Like they love everybody. It's like if people get to know people like Ian and Harry, it can change the world. It can.
Yeah.
And will.
And will. Yeah.
Love you guys. Thank you so
Thiago.
much.
Love you to all the team Beyond.
And please,
Team Beyond.
anybody watching, look up for Beyond Ranch Foundation. Help this family.
And I really hope that we could do more films with subject matter that has a social impact, that can continue to provide education, provide awareness, and help the people that are in less fortunate situations and provide a better quality of life.
My name is Tamara Mark, and this is my story.